We talked a little bit about that we might be getting on a Hall of Famer and an absolute legend onto the show, and he comes and sits down with us immediately. We're just going to roll on through, if that's all right, guys. So,
yeah. How you doing? Shane
Farine, Ollie Thornton, Will Gavin, and now...
There we go. There we go.
Hall of Fame wide receiver of the Raiders.
What's going on?
Tim
I
Brown
love
is
that
with
accent,
us.
man. I love it. I love it.
How are you feeling about the Vegas Raiders right now? Moving on from Derek Carr, the big questions at quarterback. Like, you've got great receiver in Devontae Adams, so that tradition continues. But how are you feeling about the team right now?
Yeah, look, we need answers, right? We don't have them right now, and can you get them all in one season? I'm a big proponent of not judging a coach in the first year. I always think the second year will really tell the tale of where that coach is headed. And but it's going to be tough for Josh. he's got a long way to go. But look, I think that in the NFL you can get good if you want to get good. You just have to know how. You have to know how to get that done. And you think being around Belichick all those years, he would have that game plan, but it just doesn't seem to be working out when he becomes a head coach. So. I'm hoping and praying, man, because I want my Sunday afternoons to be relaxing and not me throwing stuff at the TV. You know what I mean? So I'm being very selfish about this request, but I certainly want this thing to happen and happen in a big way for Josh and that coaching staff there now.
If only we had somebody around the table who could give us some insight into Josh McDaniels. if only we had a man who won a Super Bowl right here in Arizona with him as his offensive coordinator. Like, what have you made of, we were just hearing from Tim. Tough first season, but getting a quarterback who hopefully will be his guy, his scheme, is that going to make a huge difference, you think?
I think it will make a huge difference. Look, Josh can call a million football plays on offense, but it's up to the offense to actually go out there and execute them. It's up to the offense to digest the playbook, to understand the adjustments. There's a lot of adjustments. There's a lot of options in Josh McDaniels' offense, and everybody has to be on the same page. That's what makes the offense so tough to stop, but it also makes the offense tough to go if not everybody's on the same page. I think for the Raiders specifically, if the offense is struggling, what you need is a defense that helps you, gets the ball back to you, doesn't give up a lot of points. So more than a quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, I think it's more important to shore up that defense and give the offense time to gel, give the offense time to get comfortable in his scheme and in his system.
What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is that, Josh inherited a team that was a playoff team.
Yeah.
And usually when you come in as a head coach, you're inheriting a bad team.
Yeah.
You're inheriting a team that was 4-13, that struggled. He inherited a team that played extremely well to get to the playoffs. I mean, I think they won 5 or 6 games or whatever, and came probably one play away from upsetting Cincinnati in Cincinnati. And I think in that situation, even though you're coming as a head coach, you have to look at what you have differently. I mean, when Gruden came in, there were changes that needed to be made, but there weren't wholesale changes because the athletes were there. It was just the system that we were running that was jacked up, And I think if Josh would have kept a little bit more of what they had done the year before, not put everybody in that spin cycle where they have to, figure out what's going on. And let's see how, the guys got to the playoffs. Let's see. But I get it at the same time because if I'm a coach, I'm like, I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah.
I want to get my plays in, so I really get that, man. But, so I know that I'm being selfish with my request here. But at the same time, look, we know that Josh is a very smart guy. The deal at Denver didn't work out. It's looking like, the first year in Vegas didn't go well. But if it's really down inside of you, man, you'll figure it out, and you'll figure out a way to make this thing happen. And again, I am all in on Josh McDaniels. I really am. I mean, there's no back talking. I make my comments because that's who I am, and the Raider fans expect me to be honest when I talk. And I don't talk often, but when I talk, I'm shooting right. I'm coming right here from the hip. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. And because I don't want to be the headline on anybody's. I made the comment about Tommy Reese. After he left, not while he was there. He went to Alabama. Let me tell y'all what I think. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, Tim, that's pretty strong. It is strong. But if Tommy is the man I think he is, he's a Notre Dame man, so I believe he is, he'll look at that and go, okay, I'll show this guy who I really am, and he'll get better.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was constructive. It wasn't anything personal. So, but yeah, man, look, man, we got to get my Raiders going, though, bro. Like I said, I just got to be up in my man cave on Sunday afternoon, chilling.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I want. And so I'll take a good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll take a good game. But when I see like the team not on the same page, that drives me nuts.
The most frustrating thing with the Raiders this year for me was how many blown leads they had.
Yeah.
And it's not just a one-score lead. We're talking double-digit 2-score leads that were just completely blown. And when you look at it, you're like, well, is it the defense fault or is the offense fault for not scoring, defense for not stopping them? I think it's a coaching decision. You have to learn how to hold those leads.
Yes.
You have to coach how to win ball games. And winning is a learned habit. You don't just win. You have to learn how to win. You have to learn how to close out games specifically in the second half. And that's, to me, was the difference between the Raiders this year and last year.
Exactly right.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Last thing, just because we've seen so many of the great ones around here today. We've already had, this guy's a Bengals fan, so we've been loving Jamar Chase. We've been loving seeing T. Higgins around. Who are the receivers that you're enjoying watching in the league right now as a guy who did it at such a high level?
The game is totally different from the game I played. You know what I mean? And there are no guys running 10 yards across the middle on a regular basis anymore. Did a 15-yard dig route in. You just don't see that anymore. But I enjoy, Jamar Chase. all these guys, Jefferson, Tyreek. What Tyreek is able to do is unreal. He's like the Randy Moss. He's like a 5'9" Randy Moss. You know what I mean? The way he changes the game is really unbelievable. So, I get it. I love Devontae, obviously. I think Devontae is incredible. He's so smooth with what he does. It doesn't look like he's putting a lot of effort into it, but he's running by people. He's making plays. But, look, I've adjusted my mentality that today's game, what we did is gone. How we did it is gone. Running slant routes, running crossing routes. That's not how the boys are getting it done now. They're going down the field. They're doing back shoulders. They're doing all this stuff. And it's a beautiful thing, man. And, you just have to enjoy it.